What's going on, everybody? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. With the OTAs today, as far as I'm aware, there was two notable absences. One of them, I think, was Zach Zeeler, and the other one was this man on screen here, center Connor Williams. And reports coming out that Connor Williams is seeking a new contract for the Miami Dolphins and is planning on holding out. That's why he was absent from practices today. Connor Williams last year, he had a fairly good season coming into the 2023 season. PFF has him ranked as the eighth rated center in the NFL at a 68.5 center rating. And last year, I think he had a pretty good season. His biggest issue, honestly, was just adjusting to playing center, and had quite a few bad snaps last year, and a lot of times was snapping it over to his head. And I'm sure that's something that he's got more accustomed to, assuming he's going to be staying at the center position. And if that's the case, then I'm very happy with him staying as the Miami Dolphins center. He goes into this offseason on the last year of his 2-year contract that he signed after leaving the Dallas Cowboys. This year, he's going to be earning a base salary of $6.5 million, get a signing bonus of $1.3 million. So not making a lot of money, but I think the bigger concern is trying to get that new contract, trying to get some more years added on to that. Connor Williams is 26 years old, so he's not very old. He's in his 5th season. And I was, again, pretty happy with the season Connor Williams had. The offensive line was certainly not a strength of the team last year, especially with the injuries that we sustained at both tackles positions. The one of the mainstays was Connor Williams at the center position. The guard work on both sides was not the best, but he maintained himself pretty well down the middle of the offensive line, again, on a pretty lackluster offensive line to begin with. So Connor Williams, let's just say worst case scenario, we end up losing Connor Williams, whether it be we trade him away or whatever the case is, and they don't want to give him the contract that he wants. I think that would be a pretty big loss, because I think they've done not great, but they've done enough to try to patch together the offensive line. We'll see how that ends up unfolding. We're in a division that already doesn't have great offensive lines. I don't believe any of the offensive lines are, at the very least, within the top 15 PFF rankings. Any of the 4 teams in our division, I don't even know if any of them are top 20, including our own. But adding Isaiah Wynn, adding a couple other tackles, I'm not happy with it. I'm not content with it going into the season. But if the core from last year stays healthy, which was truly the biggest issue, maybe it works. Maybe it works. And Connor Williams being the center point of that, pun intended, I think he'd be a very big loss. I don't think we've had a reliable center, since Pouncey left. I don't think we've had a reliable center since he retired, or I think he actually moved on and played a year with the Chargers. But Connor Williams, very good season last year, so I'm very hopeful that they can get a deal done. Again, he's very young. As far as I remember from last year, he definitely didn't have much injury issues. But going back even to his Cowboys days, I don't recall him having any issues with his injuries. So this is a guy that I think it's very important to keep on the team. I'd argue he's probably our second best offensive lineman, certainly behind Teron Armstead. So there's definitely going to be points, you already know with Teron Armstead, there's going to be points this year where Connor Williams is our best offensive lineman out there on the field. In terms of what kind of contract I could see the Dolphins trying to offer him. So this is, of course, his last season on this current deal that he signed coming over from the Cowboys. Maybe another 2 years added on top of that deal. I don't think it'd be about money, because the security that he's going to get is in those extra years, is in that extra money, getting more guaranteed money now for a couple more years. I'm sure if he has a good season now, he can go on and get another contract, but in the NFL, it's such a volatile league. It's such a rotating door league that if you have one bad year or you sustain one bad injury on the offensive line, if you get a lower body injury, it's hard to recover from. You don't have a lot of job security. So I understand where he's coming from, and I'm very interested to see how quickly this gets resolved. It's dealt with one way or another, and I think it's absolute must for the Dolphins. Now, I don't like the culture around holding out, and we've seen with our own guys, we've seen with Xavier Howard how that's gone, how we were very, very close to trading Xavier Howard and giving up on him, because back-to-back off seasons he asked for a new contract, and he's been very serious. I think it was 2 off seasons ago, about moving on from the team because they were not getting any contracts done. So you have now one of the most reliable players on the team. If he can get his issues of bad snaps dealt with, we have a very good offensive lineman. I mean, you just look at PFF alone, top 10 at the center position. That's enough. That's enough for me. When there's such uncertainty around everybody else on the line, if you have one guy who you say is top 10 in the league, you know what? I'm happy with him. We'll figure out the rest. Teron Armstead's definitely one of the best left tackles in the league. The other three positions are such a massive question mark. But with the center position and Connor Williams, we had stability. We had somebody who stayed on the field majority, if not all of last year. And he deserves to get paid, quite frankly. And I hope he ends up getting paid. Let me know down below what you think about Connor Williams, how he played last year, how you think he's going to do this year. And if you think he deserves to get paid, let me know what kind of contract you expect to see for Connor Williams. Hopefully that situation gets sorted out. And OTAs, everything I've seen, Eric Azukama has played pretty well at OTAs. They've said that I've heard some really good things about him and how they're basically looking at last year as a redshirt year for him. And the strides he's taken this offseason has been a welcome sight to the coaching staff. That is a must because there is currently no clear-cut wide receiver 3. We have multiple different options, Azukama being one of them. But bringing in Braxton Berrios, bringing in Chosen, Robbie Anderson. Dang it, I called him Chosen. I said I wasn't going to call him Chosen. Multiple different guys that could end up being the wide receiver 3. And if Eric Azukama can then enter that race, that just makes the core even better. Competition is only going to make that wide receiver core better. So hopefully we see that continue to improve, and hopefully we see this Connor Williams situation get dealt with. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we should be doing our live stream. Haven't done it in a couple weeks, so look out for that. Thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, get down in the comments, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.